to the northern region of Canada at the close of the 19th century rode Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties, lonely defender of justice and fair play, handsome, brave, daring, and hopelessly lost.
The world of animated television brims with eccentric heroes and outlandish tales, but few characters are as unexpectedly controversial as Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties. At face value, Dudley's vintage misadventures serve up innocent slapstick and vibrant nostalgia. Yet hidden within his legacy lies a saga that stretches across 4 decades of behind-the-scenes censorship, a clash between creators and critics that continues to intrigue animation enthusiasts. The episode, titled Stokey the Bear, found itself locked away from audiences for 40 years, becoming a legend in the realm of television bans. The origins of Dudley Do-Right. The character of Dudley Do-Right didn't burst onto television screens fully formed, but sprang from the collaborative genius of Jay Ward and Alex Anderson, who together crafted animation history. Their partnership in the late 40s led to the creation of Crusader Rabbit, heralded as the first nationally broadcast animated television series. Yet in the same creative bloom, they also conceived 2 other series, the Sherlock Holmes parody Ham Hock Jones, and crucially, Dudley Do-Right of the Mounties. This latter project drew direct inspiration from operettas like Rose Marie and classic melodramas. Although only Dudley retained his name from the original pitch, other characters underwent transformation. Sidney the Snake Snodgrass became Snidely Whiplash, and Bess Blushmore evolved into Nell Fenwick. The pilot emerged as a cliffhanger in 1948, its ending left unresolved and dependent on sponsor interest. It wasn't until 1961, with the arrival of The Bullwinkle Show, that Dudley and his companions were revitalized, thanks largely to the creative force of designer Al Sheen and writers Chris Hayward and Lloyd Turner. Here, Anderson's adventurous concept mutated into a pointedly satirical take on adventure shows. Out went the earnest melodrama, and in came a parade of absurd situations and character quirks that would cement Dudley's popularity. Dudley's world was animated with a distinctive style. Drawings by Anderson were given life through camera movement, an economical technique that created the illusion of animation. This, coupled with slower-paced narration and stylized visual gags, shaped the unique tone of the show. Initially set in the fictional Deep Freeze Landing and structured in rhyme, reminiscent of Robert W. Service's poetry, Dudley's adventures featured a gallery of exaggerated archetypes, heroic Mounties, cunning villains, and swooning damsels, bathed in slapstick and meta-humor. The enduring appeal of Dudley Do-Right isn't just rooted in his bumbling attempts at heroism, but also in the broader legacy of Jay Ward Productions. Ward's approach favored last-minute submissions of episode drafts to prevent network tampering, a creative safeguard that allowed the animators to preserve their idiosyncratic tone and subversive wit. The creation and controversy of Stokey the Bear.
Sicily is running low on toothpicks. We gotta get out 5 million by sundown. To the forest, man!
Inspector Fenwick, sir. I have your mush here.
Oh, good morning, Do-Right. Set the oatmeal on the desk and watch out you don't trip on that shag rug.
Among the slate of Dudley Do-Right segments on The Rocky and Bullwinkle Show, none are as storied as Stokey the Bear. First aired as Season 1, Episode 16, this sketch quickly tipped from humorous send-up to cultural flashpoint. Audiences embraced Dudley's quirky persona, relishing the rapid-fire gags and gentle lampooning of Canadian stereotypes. Riding his horse backward and donning a traditional Mountie uniform, Dudley was cast as a lovable fool, a staple of Jay Ward's satirical style. However, Stokey the Bear marked a decisive escalation. The episode follows a group of lumberjacks toiling in forests near Mount Up, only for disaster to erupt as flames consume the landscape. Dudley and his trusted steed, Horse, uncover that Stokey the Bear, a character unmistakably modeled as a parody of Smokey Bear, was hypnotized by Dudley's perennial foe, Snidely Whiplash, to start the infernos. The chaos intensifies when Dudley shepherds Stokey to Chicago, unwittingly sparking another catastrophic fire. Dudley's suggestion that Stokey blame the blaze on a cow directly references the legendary Chicago Fire of 1871, slyly entwining satire and historical events. For viewers, Stokey the Bear stood as a humorous reinvention of American icons. But for U.S. officials, the sketch crossed the line. Smokey Bear, created in 1944, was not just an advertising mascot, but a linchpin of national wildfire awareness campaigns, the longest-running PSA in American history. Smokey was inspired by a real bear rescued from a forest inferno, and his wholesome image and cautionary message helped drive down the annual count of wildfires by over 40,000. To see this beloved figure recast as an arsonist was a step too far. The U.S. Forest Service's reaction was swift and severe. Their representatives reportedly arrived at J. Ward Productions in full uniform to voice their displeasure, lodging formal complaints with both the animators and ABC. The episode vanished from syndication, bypassed in VHS and DVD releases, and remained absent from streaming platforms for over 4 decades. Such was the impact of Stokey's misadventure that an entire generation of viewers missed the segment, its reputation growing as a kind of lost treasure among animation fans. Yet the very nature of the ban fanned the flames of intrigue. The confrontation between creative irreverence and institutional authority became an anecdote in itself. The irony that government officials staged a real-life intervention over a cartoon almost feels like one of Ward's gags brought to life. Dudley Do-Right's evolution and cultural impact. Despite the setback of Stokey the Bear, Dudley Do-Right continued to evolve, both within and beyond the confines of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. The character starred in his own series, The Dudley Do-Right Show, which aired on ABC Sunday mornings from April 1969 to September 1970. Compiled by PAT Film Services, this half-hour format included segments from both J. Ward Productions and Total Television. The syndicated version, retitled Dudley Do-Right and Friends, shuffled the segment lineup, introducing audiences to new characters while maintaining Dudley's spirited adventures. These syndicated episodes pulled from a variety of sources, tracing animation lineage through related series like King Leonardo and his short subjects and Tennessee Tuxedo and his tales. The show's tone parodied the silent film genre, utilizing piano scores, intertitles, and visual tropes evocative of the early 20th century melodramas. In his quest to catch Snidely Whiplash and win the affection of Nell Fenwick, Dudley embodied the hapless hero, cheerful, dim-witted, but always persistent. The running gag of Nell favoring Dudley's horse over the Mountie himself played into the program's self-aware sense of absurdity. Animated sequences featured Dudley leaping onto horse, riding backwards to his next misadventure, accompanied by flamboyant trumpet renditions of the William Tell Overture. Dudley's appeal transcended mere parody. Through his unlucky heroics and comedic daring-do, he etched himself into the pantheon of animated figures who bridge eras and styles. Though he originated as a spoof, Dudley's legacy has been cited as inspirational for subsequent generations of animated protagonists, paving the way for eccentric leads and irreverent storytelling in both television and film. Legacy. As the years passed, the Rocky and Bullwinkle show branched out, spawning a host of spin-offs and revivals. The 1973 syndication introduced new companion series, revitalizing Rocky, Bullwinkle, and Dudley Do-Right for fresh audiences. In 2018, the partnership between DreamWorks and Amazon Prime Video ushered in The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle, sporting updated animation styles tailored for the 21st century. Dudley, with his retro aesthetics and slapstick sensibilities, once again took center stage. Not every adaptation was met with universal acclaim. The 1999 live-action Dudley Do-Right film, headlined by Brendan Fraser, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Eric Idle, struggled to connect. With a budget of $70 million and box office returns of just $10 million, it was labeled one of cinema's notorious flops. Dudley's persistent cultural footprint goes beyond television and film. He's commemorated at Universal Studios' Islands of Adventure, where theme park visitors are invited to brave the Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls attraction. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you ever seen Stokey the Bear? Let us know in the comment section below.